Good to see everyone. My name's Jesse Buckingham. I'm a co-founder of Vooma. I'm here today with Chris Jolly and Joshua Brees. Great to see you, gentlemen. How are we doing?
Morning. Everything's going
very
great.
well. Doing very well.
So to kick it off, got a question for you both. How would you describe brand alignment?
We just talked about this extensively on our panel, and I think branding is something that every company needs to establish and own. Unapologetically own your brand, cross-departmentally, internally, externally, in every which way. And from my perspective, it's like we're at such a unique time where we can put it out there at a low cost, through social media and everything else. And tell your story though, right? And this is something that I think Vooma does phenomenally. Is tell their story. Everybody inside of their organization has a voice. They're encouraged to get out there and tell their story inside of the Vooma brand. So I'm always a huge fan of what they're doing over there.
And Jolly is the epitome of being yourself unapologetically. I think that's ultimately where we kind of took some of that road mapping from him as well as a brand, giving individuals a platform to kind of be themselves first and foremost. They're being brought on to be themselves, so they should be able to do that, and that means externally and internally as well. So providing them a platform to have a voice at all times, and creating some brand alignment around the people, because without them, our brand itself would not exist. So keep providing a place that they can be themselves is the most important thing for us.
Yeah, I love that. I often think about brand as this idea of you're really building human relationships with people at scale, and I think this invitation to everyone in the business to play a role in that is really cool. You guys just did an awesome panel on building brand alignment in your organization. What were some of the key learnings and takeaways from that conversation?
I think it's I love having and hearing different approaches to how people are out there doing it, whether it's a bottom-up approach or a top-down approach. But I think at the end of the day, the leaders have to embody the brand, right? You can't preach it and then fall short of it yourself, because then from the no one's going to buy into it from the bottom up, right? So I think establishing that, and then your core values and your mission statement, vision statement, and having it be visible to everybody out there. Your customers should know what you guys stand for. Your vendors should know what you guys stand for. Internal, everybody should know what it is, but it starts at the top and leading by example in those instances.
I love that.
I think the big takeaways for me were, obviously the alignment in terms of the communication aspect. I think that, from ground level up, and then obviously as it seeps down from the senior leadership perspective, everybody's kind of aligned from that manner.
Yeah.
I also enjoyed the aspect that everybody had their own takeaways and how they feel that their build should be. Coming from the startup world that we're in, and we're about to enter year 3, we're having to pivot in terms of kind of getting creative and kind of revamp ourselves. So we're kind of going through those new motions. It's kind of lighting that fire in individuals as well. So just kind of understanding that there's different walks of life. There's horses for courses. There's brands for people and people for brands, and that's okay. And I think that you just having to kind of sample things by fire to a certain extent and learn from those moments.
I love that. And especially this point around how important it is for leaders to really be embodying the brand from the front. There's sort of a dimension of authenticity there that I think is really important, right? Because if you don't have that, then it's not really going to filter down through the business.
And if it's just the head of the snake that's only ever seen, right? I think that kind of is a deterrent for a lot of people in the social world that is now. I think that if you have a brand that kind of promotes other individuals and voices, that resonates with people from outside the market, other industries, so it creates a better candidate pool for you as well to kind of pull some good quality of hires. But no, I completely agree with that.
Yeah, and I think that, even from that perspective, as somebody who had a personal brand before I really started building the business, I want to keep that separate, right? Because I don't want people to think I can't do it because I don't want to overshadow the brand of the founder of the organization, right? And and then just thinking long term, I don't want it to ever be my brand, right? It's my team's brand. It's my company. It's a bigger thing than just Chris Jolly, the individual, or the freight coach, or whatever you want to throw at that. And I think it's very important to separate that. You have the corporate brand, and then you have the individual brands that make up the whole environment.
Yeah, I love that. Chris, you're involved now in a new broker training course. Tell us a little bit about that.
No, it's, coaching and teaching individuals is like, it's just a passion of mine, right? That's why I'm so passionate about training and continual development out there. And the new broker success program, you're learning from people who are in the industry, right? Like you're learning the ins and outs of it, and it's laying a roadmap out there of what you will experience, right? Because like when I'm talking with cargo claims with the new students is, hey guys, this is actual photos from damaged product that my trucks delivered. This is how we handled it. When it comes down to forecasting and then most importantly, like how do you structure your day? Because a fallacy out there is when you start a business, you're just cashing checks and you're busy all the time, and that couldn't be further from the truth, right? So it's like, how do you structure your day? How do you invest your time properly so you're always moving the needle forward in that? And there's a lot of great topics out there. So it's like, if you're thinking about becoming a freight broker, this is why you need to get involved in an organization like this and take these courses, because this is where you're going to actually learn the fundamentals of the industry, right? This isn't going to be your pie in the sky, high level, do this to make $1 billion. This is going to be like, no, this is how you actually develop customers. This is how you prospect. This is how you develop carriers. This is how you handle claims and the fundamentals of this industry.
That's awesome, Chris. Clearly something you're like super passionate about. What is the like energy that you get from leading this course? What do you enjoy about it most?
I just like helping people avoid the mistakes that I made. Again, I don't know everything, but I know a lot of what not to do in this industry because I've tried it all and I failed at that. And I think that there's a way to teach individuals from early on, like, hey, if you avoid this, that's kind of the path. I think there's almost more value in knowing what not to do than what to do in that.
Also, he's just a passionate dude through and through, and he literally bleeds for this industry, so I think that resonates for a lot of people on the outside. But what you see online, what you see on social media, it's no gimmick. Like in our own personal life, we live here in the Valley, and we connect, every once in a while, and this guy is one of the most genuine guys we ever connect with. So yeah, it's real.
I love it. Chris, Josh, thanks for your time, guys.
Appreciate it. Thank you, TIA. Thank you.